Here's a terrible, gigantic question that you and I have been talking about an awful lot, and we're not going to spend much time on right now, but I think it's worth saying. And it's from someone who asks us, who we see a lot here, and just say, you don't even know what the topic is yet, but I will say we will be coming back to this a fair bit, but it's a terrible question. What's the deal with the left and pedophilia? From pro-pedo articles to MAPS, that's an acronym standing for minor attracted person, which is a euphemism, cover-ups, apologia, I never know how to pronounce that word, etc. It's an alarming correlation. Furthermore, I predict trans and non-binary will soon be eclipsed by a push for its, pedophilia's, acceptance.
Yeah, so this is a complete disaster.
Yes.
Those who have predicted that this would arise have been correct. The scope of it is quite scary, and maybe most scary of all is the fact that this is now, as the question implies, being taken seriously.
People think they're being like inclusive or something.
I don't think that's sort of.
I think I've seen that in some of the sort of the so-called intelligentsia on the left, going like, oh.
But there's a question about what it means that they think they're being inclusive. I don't think they're being inclusive. I don't think they think they're being inclusive. I think they're being bullied into accepting it because they will be stigmatized as non-inclusive if they don't.
Okay, well, I think that's the same thing, but I get your distinction. That they can't quite put their finger on why it's not a free speech issue or something. And so they say, well, maybe it's just a sexual orientation.
Yeah, we will be returning to this. But let's say that when I said in the main part of the podcast that we were failing children on many fronts, this is one of the most important. And people who think that this is some minor fringe weird thing ought to rethink it, because this is heading at civilization like a freight train. And of course, our most fundamental obligation is to protect children from predatory adults. We do a terrible job of this. It's not just pedophiles. We also don't manage to protect our children from corporations that study their behavior and sell them things that are bad for them and all of that. So we have a long history of failing children in this regard, but we're about to fail them at a new level, and it must not be allowed to happen.
So I recommend this, Zach, if you would show my screen. Our friend who goes by Holly Mathnerd recently published this on her Substack on the push to destigmatize evil, why pedophilia must never be normalized. It's a incredibly difficult essay, and she gives plenty of trigger warnings,
which you should take seriously.
Yeah.
This essay should be read by many people as possible, but it's not that it should be read by everybody. And so please, those warnings are not pro forma. Please take them seriously. And if you're not somebody who should read it, don't.
Yep. But it addresses several of the issues raised by the person asking the question.
Yep.